Hey everyone, I just wanted to read one of my favorite books to read at the beginning of the school year. I hope you guys enjoy it. The book is called First Day Jitters. It's written by Julie Danberg and illustrated by Judy Love. So before I even get started, I can notice a few things on the cover. So go ahead and take a second to see if there's anything on the cover that you notice. So you might have noticed, it looks like somebody is in bed right here, covering their face with their covers, kind of looking a little bit scared. We also have a pet dog and it's like, and then we have a cat and it looks really interested and it's looking at something. And if we look over here, it looks like some type of calendar. And we can guess that it's probably a school calendar because it's got a big building here that kind of looks like a school, and then we have a school bus here. Now, school buses in Kuwait look a little bit different, but in the United States, this is what a school bus would look like. So when I look at the calendar, it has like a circle around one of the days and like a bunch of lines around it, like this is an important day. So it says First Day Jitters, and on this inside the circle it says first day of school. So I can go ahead and see that this person is feeling scared or maybe nervous about the first day of school. So let's see what it's like for this character in the book. Sarah, dear, time to get out of bed, Mr. Hartwell said, poking his head through the bedroom doorway. You don't want to miss the first day of school, do you? So we can see a man poking through and telling somebody to get up. I'm not going, said Sarah, and pulled the covers over her head. Of course you're going, honey, said Mr. Hartwell, as he walked over to the window and snapped up the shade. So we know now that this character in bed, her name is Sarah, and she doesn't want to go to school. And I'm sure many of you, even I, have felt nervous about my first day of school, right? It's super scary. You have a new teacher, you have new classmates, and you're worried that maybe they're not going to be nice to you, maybe you won't make friends easily, maybe your teacher's going to be mean, maybe the work is going to be too hard. So there are many reasons that we sometimes feel nervous on the first day of school. No, I'm not. I don't want to start over again. I hate my new school, Sarah said. She tunneled down to the end of her bed. So this is a new school for Sarah. So I don't know how many of you have gone to a new school, but that makes the first day of school extra scary. After my second grade year, I went to a new school in third grade in a new town, and I was so scared, and I remember crying a lot because I missed my friends, but it worked out and I made new friends pretty quickly. How can you hate your new school, sweetheart? Mr. Hartwell chuckled. You've never been there before. Don't worry. You liked your other school. You'll like this one. Besides, just think of all the new friends you'll meet. That's just it. I don't know anybody, and it'll be hard, and I just hate it, that's all. So on this page we can see many new faces. These look like students because they're sitting at desks. And then here we've got them acting crazy. So this is like what Mr. Hartwell is thinking, her dad, like this is what he's imagining. And this is what she's imagining the first day is gonna be like. Crazy, everybody's throwing stuff, it's loud, people are throwing desks. She's really worried. What will everyone think if you aren't there? We told them you're coming. So we've got like some police officers and a search dog, and it looks like there's students holding up posters that say missing. And we have a woman here, maybe she's the teacher or the principal, and everybody's looking for Sarah. So Mr. Hartwell's saying, if Sarah doesn't show up, everybody's gonna be worried and searching for her. They will think that I am lucky, and they will wish that they were in bed like me. Mr. Hartwell sighed. Sarah Jane Hartwell, I am not playing this silly game 1 second longer. I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes. So we've got Sarah's still in bed with her pillow over her face. And we've got the dad telling her, I'm not gonna put up with this anymore and I'm going downstairs. And you better come downstairs too. And we've also got the dog waiting for her to get out of bed. Sarah tumbled out of bed. She stumbled into the bathroom and she fumbled into her clothes. So we can see she kind of like dragged herself to the floor and started maybe like crawling over here to the end of the bed, and she's making a mess and she's getting dressed, but she doesn't seem very happy about it. My head hurts, she moaned as she trudged into the kitchen. So I'm thinking that her head probably doesn't really hurt. She's probably just nervous and saying that her head hurts, so maybe she doesn't have to go to school. Mr. Hartwell handed Sarah a piece of toast and her lunchbox. So here she is coming into the kitchen saying her head hurts. And her dad doesn't seem to believe it. He doesn't really say anything. He just gives her her lunch and a piece of toast. They walked to the car. Sarah's hands were cold and clammy. They drove down the street. She couldn't breathe. So cold and clammy. Her hands were cold and clammy. So clammy means that her hands were a bit sweaty. And usually your hands would feel cold and clammy if you're nervous for something. They'll start to get sweaty. And it says she couldn't breathe. So I don't think that means that she actually couldn't breathe. She just felt so nervous that she couldn't breathe like normally. So we've got them getting into the car and driving down the road. And then they were there. I feel sick, said Sarah weakly. Nonsense, said Mr. Hartwell. You'll love your new school once you get started. Oh, look, there's your principal, Mrs. Burton. Sarah slumped down in her seat. Oh, Sarah, Mrs. Burton gushed, peeking into the car. There you are. Come on, I'll show you where to go. So we've got the principal here, Mrs. Burton, and she's really excited to meet Sarah. And here's the school steps. She led Sarah into the building and walked quickly through the crowded hallways. Don't worry, everyone is nervous on the first day, she said over her shoulder as Sarah rushed to keep up. So we can tell that Mrs. Burton is a really nice principal. She's telling Sarah, don't worry, everybody's nice and everybody's nervous on the first day. And then we've got a hallway full of kids. And to me, when I see this, I feel a little like overwhelmed because that's a lot of kids. And if I were new, that would scare me a bit too. And we've got some other kids over here. When they got to the classroom, most of the children were already in their seats. So we've got some kids talking and reading and unpacking their bags, taking off their jackets. Looks like everybody's getting ready to start the school day. The class looked up as Mrs. Burton cleared her throat. Class, attention please, said Mrs. Burton. When the class was quiet, she led Sarah to the front of the room and said, Class, I would like you to meet your new teacher, Mrs. Sarah Jane Hartwell. So the ending is kind of surprising because the entire time I'm thinking, oh, this is a nervous child who's nervous to go to school. And at the end, we find out it's actually the teacher that was so scared and nervous and didn't want to go. So this just goes to show you that everybody gets nervous. You're nervous. I'm also nervous. And to keep in mind that This school year is especially new and scary. You're not meeting me in person just yet, but you're learning in a completely different way. It's gonna be scary, it's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be scary and hard for me too. And we're gonna work together to have a successful school year. So I hope you enjoyed the book. Again, this is First Day Jitters. And one day, inshallah, when we're back in school, you will be able to read it in your classroom library. Have a great day, guys.